Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As we are all aware of VFD, that is variable frequency drive, is one of the starter, and unlike any other thing, it is also having advantage and disadvantage, and that we are going to cover in this video. This video is also available in Hindi language, so you can find the link in the description. So without ado, let's get started. In brief, we will first see the benefits or advantage of using a VFD. So there are 3 points and we'll go in detail ahead of the video. So the first point is energy saving. That is, the consumption of power reduces when there is no requirement. So when the load increases, the VFD will use more power, and when there is no load or less load, the VFD will consume less power. Second point is fully adjustable speed. That means it provide a control starting, stopping and acceleration. Okay, that is, you have heard the term DTC control, that is dynamic torque control. So this is provided by VFD only. And third point is low motor starting current. So it helps in reduction of thermal and mechanical stress on equipments. Next, maintain speed of equipment, which is useful in case of mixture grinder etc, and provide smooth motion for applications such as elevators and accelerators. We have covered the advantage or benefits. Next we'll come to drawback or disadvantage of using VFD. First point is it is very costly as compared to any other switchgear. Second, it creates harmonics which result in vibration, humming, noise and heating effect. Third point, it requires a special type of cable or wire. And fourth point, not being that important, that it can damage motor winding and bearing over a period of time, and can also destroy insulation over a period of time. Brief part is completed. We'll go in details now. So first is advantage. First advantage was energy saving. So when the requirement is less, that is low speed or low flow, so drive will consume less power. Seeing on the right hand side, if you can see, when the flow is 20%, drive is taking very less power, and as the flow increases, requirement increases, it will start consuming high power. But that is not the case in any other fixed speed pump like DOL. So even with the less flow, it is taking more power. So this is the first point, power saved. You can see the difference as compared to VFD and other starter. Second point is fully adjustable speed. So only drive can give the option of adjusting the speed while starting, accelerating, running or stopping of the system. Best example we can take is of a pump. So when the requirement or the flow is high, we can increase the speed of the motor with the help of drive. And when the requirement get reduced, we can reduce the speed of the motor and hence the flow. Also, torque control is only made possible with the help of VFD, that is DTC you have seen, and by that we can control the torque of the system without actually increasing or decreasing or affecting the motor speed. Let's understand this point with this scenario. The output requirement is very less, so drive can easily reduce the speed and the output of this pump that will be less. But in the first case, the motor gets heated up, which is being driven by DOL or soft starter you can say, but the output has to be less. For that we have to make any modification in the pipe to put a valve or something. You can see the hand is there, and because of that the motor will get overloaded, and the result, the motor winding will burn out and the bearing may seal. So we'll come to the third point, that is low motor starting currents. To understand this point properly, you should go to a drive and see how much current it is taking initially. So it will always take 0 and reaches to a certain or a set value of current over a period of time. Advantage of this point is that it's help in reduction of thermal and mechanical stress both on motor on and on mechanical parts such as belt or gears etc. So we take example of crusher here. So crusher, grinder, mixer all have initial high torque. Okay, so high torque means there will be always a load on those equipment, and when they get started it will take a very high current which will damage both electrical and mechanical part. Also for high torque application you can go for soft starter, but the disadvantage in soft starter is that you cannot change the speed in between the process. One important advantage of using a drive is that we can change the direction with the help of parameter itself, but in case of any other starter you have to make physical changes of the cable. So there is a separate video, you can have a link in the description. Next we'll come to the disadvantage. first point we'll take is the cost part. So drives are very costly as compared to any other starter in that range. That can be a soft starter or a dual. So for the same rating, a VFD will cost more than 2 to 4 times of a soft starter and almost 10 times of a dual. So that's how costly drives are. We'll come to the second point, that is negative effect of harmonics. As we know, drives are made up of semiconductors. So, due to the presence of these semiconductors in drives, harmonics are produced. So, what are the harmonics? We can understand that it is basically a disturbance in the electrical supply, that is change of fundamental frequency. Fundamental frequency here in India is 50, but due to the use of this semiconductor, the frequency get disturbed, and because of that disturbance in the frequency, or the creation of harmonics, they will cause vibration, heating effect, and noise in the entire electrical system associated with that drive application. So these are some points you can go through it. That the harmonics create failure in electrical motor, that is bearing failures, then premature aging, and all these points, overheating and everything. So in order to reduce it, because you cannot make it zero, we can only reduce the harmonics to some extent, and for that we have to use line reactors. Choke, if you know that term, choke is being used in Siemens, both at the start and at the end chokes are being used. In other drives ABB, they use choke at the end. Okay, so this will again reduce the harmonic, but it will lead to the cost effect. The cost of the entire system will increase. So this is the second negative point. We'll come to the third point now. Third point and fourth point are basically extension of second point. That is, since harmonics are being created in VFD, so we need a special wire or cable. Special in sense, we have to provide extra insulation so that even if aging or heating affect the cable, it will continue for a longer period of time. So these special cables or higher insulation cables are not required in case of DL or soft starter. So that is third point. And we'll come to the fourth point, that is also similar. Since harmonics are created, we have a different frequency. It can damage motor winding and bearing for sure, and it will destroy the motor. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and please like, share, subscribe the video. Thank you.